Welcome to the Eliot estate where we have crooked lavender fields. I promise you we haven't been drinking, but we are laying rows for the lavender fields. Super excited. And we picked the hottest day here in spring. It's almost 80 degrees here in Ohio, zone 6A. And we have our second quadrant of lavender going in. This sun hat is very necessary for today, and it's right on par with the lavender fields. Right over here we have our first quadrant of lavender that we planted last spring, and this spring we are adding a second quadrant. So our quadrant here is roughly 200 feet long, and it's going to be 60 feet wide, and that allows us for at least 10 rows of lavender. Oh boy, look at those rows. So some details about what is happening. Taylor is down there on the tractor, and we picked up a implement from the neighbor that lays the landscaping fabric. So what it does is it mounds the dirt in the center, and then it buries the edges of the landscaping fabric. Whenever you first start out, it's just a matter of trying to get the implement just right, so you can see that there are some edges that are popping up, but I think we have it dialed in now. And basically you just lay your fabric down, and then you go along slowly, and like I said, it just mounds that dirt and buries the edges, which is really nice. Now over here in the first quadrant we do have grass that came up. Obviously this was a hayfield originally, and I think we decided that we're going to be laying like a playground mulch in between the rows, because it's just too much work and too much of a hassle to keep the grass mowed weekly. And I think that the playground mulch is going to resemble more of the Provence. They have a very dry white kind of dirt soil over there, and so I think that playground mulch in the end will look really nice and resemble the lavender fields that you see in southern France, which is what we're going for here at the Eliot estate. The landscaping fabric that I'm using is DeWitt Sunbelt. This I picked up from the local nursery. You can find it online as well, on Amazon. I think I saw it. But basically this is 4 feet wide, and I got 300 feet. So we roughly have about 100 feet left over from each row. Honestly, the hardest thing is getting started, because you have to get these wheels and this disc to line up just right so that it buries and holds the landscaping fabric just right. And second is getting your lines so straight, which we are not successful on. We're gonna switch out this fabric, and then I think Taylor wants me to try and run the next rows. It's very intimidating and hard. But basically, Taylor will show you, the fabric comes in and it goes underneath this roller down here. And this implement in particular is really nice, because if you did want to add drip line, it has the ability to run a drip line underneath of the fabric as well. But basically these two little holders just hold the fabric in place, and it just goes underneath that roller, comes underneath the tire, and then this disc kicks the dirt up. So just like that. So these wheels hold the fabric in place, and then with this lever it puts the whole rig down and puts pressure on that fabric, and then you're ready to rock and roll for your third row. The one good thing about going the route of mulch in between the rows is that we can kind of fudge the lines a little bit. You know, whereas with grass, you only have what dirt is kind of available essentially before it meets your landscaping fabric. So our plan with that quadrant and this quadrant is that we can come back, lay landscaping fabric between the rows, and then lay the mulch, the bark mulch over top of those rows for walking paths, and we can kind of, you know, blur the lines a little bit. And once the lavender gets more mature and established, honestly, I think it'll grow together and it won't be as noticeable as they are now. Here's what the grass rows look like. They don't look too bad. It's just a lot of maintenance. All right, we have two more rolls because that's all I can get my hands on for right now. So we're only doing 5 rows today. We have the 5 rows done, well, 4.5 done, but once Taylor's done with this row, we are gonna wrap up. So I just wanted to show you guys what was happening. We have some fixing to do, so we'll get out here and manually straighten out this line with some rakes and stuff. It won't be a big deal. Our next steps would be to come in with a ruler or like a long measuring tape, and we will have a big torch and a propane tank, and we will actually burn holes every 3 feet from the center of each lavender plant, and that will give us the holes for planting. We went and picked up some of the lavender, so we are actually getting ready. We're really close to actually starting to plant the lavender. So it's just a matter of getting all of this infrastructure done. Now we will come back and add irrigation lines. I have all the supplies for that, and I will do a separate video on that whenever we get ready to run those water lines. But we're one step closer to having our lavender fields here in Amish country. I'm just so looking forward to having all of the varieties done, and here in a couple years when they are at full maturity and stuff, these fields are gonna smell so good, and I'm so excited. So anyway, that is all that's happening this afternoon. We'll get in here and burn those holes here soon, but thank you guys for watching and visiting the Eliot estate.